Hello, it is me, the totally real hobo mice and not their fusion doppelganger. Welcome to my new mini-series called the Fusionfall Timeline, where we will be going over the major events in Fusionfall in chronological order. The timeline can be divided into 3 parts: the pre-war, the war before the player returns, and the war after the player's arrival. In today's episode we will be going over the pre-war era. For eons an unstoppable force has traveled the galaxy, consuming almost every civilization it encounters. This force would come to be known as Fuse. Of the few worlds not destroyed by Fuse was Anerpheidos, home to the Ecto-Neurites. Fuse had agreed to spare them in exchange for their loyalty and service. Meanwhile, on ancient Earth, the Hani Baba people foresaw Fuse's eventual arrival, and constructed magic totems across the continent. When all are activated, a magical defense system in the form of a network across the totems would protect the Earth from Lord Fuse. How to activate the totems would be recorded in the Book of Prophecy, along with various other magical spells. Now we move on to modern Earth, with the arrival of Megas, where I have an immediate problem when trying to make a chronological timeline: time travelers. How the heck does time travel work in the Fusionfall universe? From what I can gather, it is most likely is the branching timeline theory. Basically, if you travel to the past to fix a problem, you are instead creating a new timeline, or a branch, and are going into its past. In this timeline the problem is fixed, but in your old timeline the problem still happened. Now that I'm done with that tangent, let's get back to Megas. We learn that in Mega's original timeline, Fuse eventually invades the Glorfts. The Glorfts build Megas to defend against Fuse, and are successfully able to defeat him. Then the events of the show Megas XLR play out as normal. The Glorfts invade Earth. In a last, desperate attempt to save the planet, the human resistance steals Megas. Their plan is to use a time-traveling device called a time drive to send Megas and its assigned pilot 2 years into the past to the Battle of the Last Stand, which was the last major offensive fought by humanity against the Glorfeet. But there is a problem. Due to an accident, Megas is sent too far, where it is found and repaired by Coup. I am obligated to mention that there is a theory that Megas might be the reason why Fuse is invading in the present. This theory was proposed by the magic dealer here on YouTube. Go check out his channel, his lore videos are really fun. His theory proposes that during the Glorfeet's battle with Fuse, a small piece of Fuse became attached to Megas. Whether this was intentional or accidental is unknown. When Megas traveled through time, this piece of Fuse came with, and due to Fuse's hive mind he became aware of its existence. From Fuse's perspective, a piece of him just popped into existence on the other side of the galaxy, and like any reasonable creature, Fuse decided to investigate it. Now personally I think the logic is sound, and will accept this as my new headcanon, but since this isn't deliberately stated in the source material yet, I can't in good conscience tell you that this is canon. Anyway, shortly after Mega's arrival, is the arrival of Larry 3000 from Time Squad, where he immediately crashes his time machine, and is destroyed. He was sent here to fix a time anomaly, although he can't remember what it is. He may be destroyed right now, but this robot will play an important role in the future, so remember this. News of Megas starts to travel, and even reaches the ears of Dexter, boy genius, and not wanting to be outdone, Dexter views this as a challenge. If someone can build a giant time-traveling robot out of a junkyard, then imagine what someone of Dexter's intelligence and resources could do. After researching Megas' time drive, Dexter was able to create a much cruder version. Thrilled with his invention, he decided to hold an event to demonstrate the time machine to the public. At the event, to prove his time machine is safe, Dexter asked for volunteers from the audience, where the player character is chosen. After the player gets in the time machine, Dexter begins calibration, when like always DD messes things up, and begin pushing buttons, flipping switches, and making a mess of things. This causes the machine to go far into the future, or what I am calling the bad timeline. After the disastrous demonstration, Dexter stops development on the time machine, at least until his old time machine returns. Instead he begins working on a giant robot of his own. Shortly after Dexter's demonstration, in the city of Townsville, Mojo Jojo is up to his old tricks again. In yet another battle with the Powerpuff Girls, but things take an unusual turn. Mojo Jojo fires a laser at Blossom. Buttercup sees the laser and pushes her sister out of the way, but taking the blast instead. The blast knocks Buttercup unconscious and she begins falling into the ocean. After defeating Mojo Jojo, Blossom and Bubbles start an immediate search looking for their sister, but to no avail. It's been about a year since Buttercup's disappearance, and Mojo Jojo is starting to feel remorseful for what he did, and joins the search to find Buttercup. While he doesn't find Buttercup, his machines do detect something. A new planet has entered the solar system. Intrigued by this, Mojo Jojo takes his monkey army to go investigate. While Mojo Jojo is investigating the planet, 3 meteors are shot toward Earth. One landing at Foster's home for imaginary friends, one at Sector B of the KND, and the last landing at the foot of Megas. The meteors turn out to be terrafusers, an alien biomachines designed to create fusion spawns. Both the terrafusers and the fusion spawn are seen to be able to regenerate even after being destroyed. Dexter notices that the terrafusers seem to be powering up to do something. Multiple heroes team up in order to try and stop the terrafusers, but due to a miscalculation from Mandark they were unable to stop the terrafusers from signaling Planet Fuse. With Planet Fuse right on Earth's doorsteps, Fuse begins his invasion. And that concludes all the events that happened before the war. Join me next time as we go over all of the events that happened during the war before the player returns from the bad timeline, and praise be to Lord Fuse.